Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Diamond K in the morning on the all new radio on fire.com. Thank you for joining me. Here on the show, we deliver the biggest political and news stories of the day with interviews and original reporting from across the country. Diamond K in the morning is upbeat. I have fun, but I also want to expose what is really happening in America. New episodes drop Monday through Friday at 8 a.m., but I don't want you to miss any of our live broadcasts. In addition to our 8 a.m. program, we drop content throughout the day as news happens. So hit that notification bell so you can get an alert whenever we go live. Today, I want to talk about this. I mean, I'm disturbed by this, but I'm not surprised. Of course, how can you be surprised at something that continues to happen over and over and over again? So no charges against the officers involved in Daniel Prude's death. What am I talking about? Okay. 11 months ago, police officers, they put a hood over the head of a mentally distraught man, then pressed his body against the pavement until he stopped breathing. These officers will not face criminal charges after a grand jury declined to indict them. No surprise there. And the state's attorney general announced today. Daniel Prude was 41 years old. He died last March, several days after his encounter with the police in Rochester, New York. Initially, police described his death as a drug overdose, but that was not the truth. It went mostly unnoticed because they said he died of this PCP, but nightly protests erupted after the body camera video was released nearly 6 months after it happened. And this is because of pressure from Prude's family. So in September, many of us saw for the first time this horrible video. Attorney General Letitia James, whose office took over the investigation, said that her office had presented the strongest possible case to the grand jury, but could not persuade it that the officers committed a crime. It's so strange to me that the grand jury in these police-involved murders always seem to rule as if they're all members of the police union or something. You know what I mean? But I guess they handpick the folks that they want. She said this. This is Attorney General Letitia James. I know that the Prude family, the Rochester community, and communities across the country will rightfully be disappointed by this outcome. She traveled to Rochester to announce the grand jury's decision at a church near where Prude was fatally injured. She said she was bound to respect the grand jury's decision, but she also condemned the system that she said had frustrated efforts to hold law enforcement officers accountable for the unjustified killing of African Americans. I'm glad that someone in her position is saying it, because usually when you have people in her position, they're saying that everything was fine. So she acknowledges the obvious, the clear and obvious. One recognizes the influence of race, from the slave codes to Jim Crow to lynching to the war on crime to the over-incarceration of people of color. Eric Garner, Tamir Rice, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and now Daniel Prude. Now, this is coming from Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York. So calls were made to the officers' attorneys, and They said that they're going to speak to the press later. Hundreds of protesters gathered this evening on the street where Prude was detained. That video, that March 23rd video of Prude's fatal encounter with officers was initially withheld. They didn't want people to see that because they knew that it would inflame street demonstrations, because the way they treated Mr. Prude was wrong. They violated everything. Like, when they talk about that's how their training was, it's so strange to me that you had supporters of the president bashing officers upside the head and they didn't do anything. The training only kicks in when the odds are in their favor and the person's unarmed. That's when their training seemingly kicks in. That's what I have the problem. The system failed Daniel Prude again. So that's what's happening now. Rochester's mayor, Lovely Warren, who fired police chief LaRon Singletary over his handling of the Prude case, called the attorney general's announcement hard for many of us to understand. There are not words that can comfort this family that lost their loved ones in a very tragic way. And the actions going forward will ensure that Daniel Prude's death was not in vain. Some activists said that they never expected the officers to face charges. Many people did not expect these officers to face charges. Historically, we can see when Black and brown people are killed in this nation, most times there's no indictment. Most times there is no accountability. They blame the deceased, usually in this country, Black and brown people. However, it isn't any less offensive. It isn't any less hurtful. It isn't any less painful. And this must stop. It is disgusting. I'm disgusted at the grand jury. No charges, of course, for the officers that killed Daniel Prude. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Of course, it's Diamond K in the Morning on the all-new radioonfire.com. Diamond K in the Morning is also available on the WRF Radio app. Simply download WRF Radio in your app stores. Leave me a comment. You can scroll your timeline, attend Zoom meetings on mute, do some online shopping, and still listen to Diamond K in the Morning. As I said, you can catch up on all of our episodes. New episodes drop Monday through Friday at 8 a.m., but I don't want you to miss any of our live broadcast. In addition to our 8 a.m. program, we drop content throughout the day as news happens. So hit that notification bell so you get an alert every time we go live. If you want to support Diamond K in the Morning, you can do that via Cash App, $DJ Diamond K. You can do that on PayPal, djdiamondk@gmail.com. We're going to be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., with more of the program. As I said, get breaking news, adult conversation, covering topics that are important to the Black culture. Visit radioonfire.com for our original radio, podcast, and TV programs.